Hello and welcome to Room Escape Divas, your podcast on everything escape rooms. Today we have Teresa Piazza, and she is the exhibitor and sponsorship. I like how I pronounced exhibitor. I don't know how to pronounce anything now.
Exhibitor.
Exhibitor for RECON. Woo! My name is Errol.
I'm Amanda.
And Mike and Ruby probably will not be with us for a long time because
Indeed.
they have babies.
They have
just
babies
one
now.
baby.
One
They have
baby.
one baby. So they
Yes.
are. It's life is over when you have children. So really, it's not. They're not going to be around for a while. But they are still making it out to our Friday night meetups because I think they need some sort of reprieve from baby. Honestly.
Yes.
I have two kids, so I'm speaking from experience here as opposed to slagging on parents. So I'm a parent as well. In fact, I don't know. This is again another video. If people are watching this on the YouTube, so I don't know if my daughter, yeah, she's in the background. I did get her consent for being on the YouTube.
It wasn't exactly a
first.
verbal consent. It was more like a stony stare and
Or
then
just a teenage whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will hold up in a court of law in case, maybe they'll understand teenagers. I'll need a judge that's a teenager. It's like, yeah, we know. We understand. Anyway, welcome, Teresa.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So just to clarify, you are one of the amazing team members, or maybe the team member for RECON, which is the Reality Escape Convention, which is coming up soon. When this gets released, it'll be in 2 weeks, August 23rd, 24th. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
About 2 weeks from this Friday, which is when it's getting released, I think. Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody-
we're recording and it's 18 days, but who's counting? Not me. Definitely not me.
Yeah, people must be panicking. I know I have a meeting with Augie because we're supposed to figure out the ARG and we don't have much yet. So yeah, we're going to see how that works too.
Don't tell me that. There's deadlines in the calendar. Don't tell me that.
Oh,
Errol
good. There's a
always
calendar.
meets deadlines, so
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I wasn't told about a deadline, but that's okay. I'll talk to Augie about it. Augie probably has the deadline. Anyway, I understand that you are good with spreadsheets and calendars. But before we get to that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Teresa?
Oh dear. Yeah, so I don't know what you want to know. I am, like you said, the one person on RECON's team dealing with all of the exhibitor and sponsorships. I am just one person on a fairly sizable RECON team, though. There's a whole bunch of us that are helping to put this together in addition to just Lisa and David. So we're really trying to bring all sorts of different special skill sets. But about me, since that's what you asked, I got into escape rooms in 2015. I have loved it since. I have always wanted to try and find a way to, do this in some greater capacity than just being a player all the time. And then when I was approached about RECON, I was like, yeah, for sure. I will take all my quarantine time where I'm not allowed to do anything fun and pour it into more work. Yes, totally. And that's pretty much what I've been doing.
And you are in charge of the exhibitor and sponsors that are part of RECON. And so one of the reasons I thought that you could come on is because I know that we have a lot of owners that listen in, and maybe even some potential puzzle designers and creators of sorts that look towards conferences, or maybe not even be aware of that this is a thing that they can get involved in when it comes to, I want to get my work out there. And since you're in charge of that, I thought it'd be a great thing to talk about because I'm pretty sure, Manpans. Hi, Manpans, you there? I just noticed that you're looking away. Maybe you're looking at the clock thinking, why is Errol talking? Is that what you're doing?
No, I was looking at my empty cup of tea and thinking, I'm thirsty.
So you weren't paying attention to me at all.
No, I was listening at the same time. You can multi-think.
I know, I'm teasing you. Anyway,
Yeah.
because Manpans, you've been to many conferences as well. Sometimes as one of the volunteer groups, a lot of times, but I've been to a bunch of conferences as well, but as a presenter or an exhibitor, not as a sponsor though. So these are areas that some people might be interested in. So let's talk about conferences. There are only a few of them in regards to the escape room community. and out there. Now, on top of Recon, we also have Eric, which is in the UK. We have, the Escape Summit, which is in Canada. We have Trans World. I don't know if that's still happening. I'm assuming that's still happening. I'm not too sure. And are there other ones? There probably are other ones.
Up the game.
Oh, Up the Game.
Yeah, one of the ones I went
Yes,
to.
obviously,
Yeah.
Up the Game. That's also in the UK.
No, that's in Europe. That's in the Netherlands.
No, you're right. That's in your Eric is in the UK. I'm getting them all mixed up. Oh my
That's
goodness.
okay. That's why I'm here. To bring in the facts.
To fix all my mistakes. Yes. Have you helped out with a lot of conventions and conferences, Teresa?
Historically, no. I have volunteered in different capacities for conventions, but this will be the first time where I'm really taking an active role in the overall timeline management of getting everything done and exhibitor and sponsor coordination. So we're kind of learning trial by fire, which is how I do most things in my life, and it seems to be working out okay.
Sounds great. And how many exhibitors and sponsors do you have so far?
Yeah, we have over 20 exhibitors right now and just a handful of sponsors. I sent what I think is a lot of cold emails, but like you said earlier, we definitely could, if anyone else wants to exhibit or sponsor, the actual deadline was the end of July, but we are accepting if people really want to get their name out there. We have currently 600 pre-registered attendees, which is crazy. And they come from all over of like escape room players and owners and designers and people that are looking to get their content out there. So our exhibitors and sponsors are kind of echoing that, where we have some exhibitors who are escape room software providers, and then we have some escape rooms that are just exhibiting, and then we have people that make props. So it's really, we're trying to span the whole industry with whatever people might need to show up in the exhibit hall.
Now, the interesting thing is, and another reason why I wanted to bring this up as a topic, because this is one of the few conferences, actually not one of the few, now that we have COVID, it's happening all over the place, where all conferences are happening online. So that's actually really interesting, because usually when you would have any type of exhibit hall or merch place, it'd be in one great big ballroom, just filled with people, asking local artists, can you draw this picture of me? But now it's all just online. How are you handling that?
Yeah, that was truly one of the more incredible pivots. So there will be a webpage on the RECON website where it'll list just like a normal agenda, or I don't know, those maps that have like blocks with numbers in them and tell you which exhibitor is where on the conference floor. We'll have that. And then we'll have a bunch of other websites dedicated to each exhibitor. And then from that website, you'll be able to jump into our communication platform, which is Discord, and chat directly with the exhibitors. So it'll be as close to a real life convention as we could make it virtually.
So you'll have like a web page and then a link, and you click on that link. Will every exhibitor have their own channel, or how does that work? Oh,
that's what we've got set up right now, because I think it would be super good. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of channels. I'm going to be managing all of them. But I think it'll be fine. This is trial by fire. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get people to the right place and let them have a conversation. And this is, I think, really representative of what you're going to get at a physical conference and a virtual one, because we're not going to make private channels for Errol to talk to exhibitor A. We're just going to let Errol have a conversation with exhibitor A. And then when I pop into the channel and want to ask my question, I could see the answer or listen to it just like I would in a regular in-person convention.
Now, I participated in another online convention, also all through Discord, except maybe people who are listening don't even know what Discord is. Maybe we should explain that. Maybe Teresa should explain that, because they'll do a horrible job. It's a chat thing.
It is a chat thing. It's a chat thing like Slack, where you have a specific community that you can invite a bunch of people into what Discord calls a server, which is like a giant room. And then you can have different smaller breakout rooms inside that where you could have different channels of people talking. And the nice thing, and why we didn't use Slack for this primarily, I'm speaking like a technical person who made this decision. I'm not. I'm just dealing with the consequences of this decision. but it allows people to have both text and voice and video channels. So
Right.
we'll have rooms where people can have discussion groups, and those will be the voice and video channels. And then we can just have regular text channels like what you're used to seeing in another program like Slack.
Yeah, and I think you have to pay for a bunch of stuff if you're going through Slack. So if you wanted to share your screen, you can't do that in Slack unless you have one of the paid programs. Or it's Discord, you can share your screens and you can do a variety of different things as well, from what I understand. Actually, do you also have a karaoke channel? That happened at the conference I went to, where somebody would have and then people would do karaoke and sing.
We don't have a karaoke channel, but that is something we could add. Do you think that needs to be a text-only channel, or does it have to be voice and video? Could we just all type song lyrics all day long in a channel?
I think that's going to happen anyway if Errol's in the channel.
It doesn't have to be video. I don't think people. I think people are horrified enough to sing, so we can make it a bit easier for people just to have a voice channel. That'd be fun.
The karaoke channel will only be Errol, and so you'll just basically be going in to listen to Errol sing.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people. I bet you James Cobalt would do it. Yeah.
Okay, you and James can have a karaoke off.
I will make you a private channel for you and James to sing to each other if that's what you want.
And I understand too. Actually, it was interesting because the Discord chat I was on had some sort of weird bot that played music. I don't know how they had that, but I know there's going to be all sorts of bots that are happening in the background, just facilitating all sorts of things. It's going to be an AI takeover.
Yeah,
Wow,
there are a lot of bots in the. It feels better now because we're doing some early testing to Room Escape Artists Patreon. And so we have now like somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 people just like trying to break things and give us suggestions for what the Discord server might need to evolve into for RECON. But it was really lonely before because it was like me, one other person, and then like 12 bots. And so it's real sad. So now it feels good. It's like a better human to AI ratio in there.
And what are the bots in charge of? What do they do? For those that are listening in, they might not know why you would even have bots in there, but there's many good reasons to have bots in there.
Yeah, we don't have any bots that play music, but I'm well aware of some that do. But most of the time, the bots are just there to handle a bunch of manual tasks, just like regular robot work, stuff that humans don't want to do anymore. We just gave that to the bots. But mostly it'll be around like scheduling, and when you want to sign up for something, you can react in some way to a message, and that will tell the bot what to do.
Oh, so they're kind of like help people, support people. They'll tell you where to go to, maybe, hopefully, maybe.
We have humans for that. We actually have a bunch of volunteers in addition to the core RECON team, which is also all volunteers. We have more volunteers, and we have volunteers that will be concierges. So if you find one of them, you can ask them any question under the sun, and they should be able to get you to the right place. And then we'll have facilitators and moderators.
That's going to be like a lot of organization. Oh, I feel for you, Teresa. Oh my goodness. I was noticing that, like, how are you doing the speaker handling of things? Are they all going to be in just one room? Like what you would do in a normal conference, you'd have like one room, ballroom A, and then somebody comes into ballroom A, and then they're done and they leave, and then somebody else comes into ballroom A. Are you going to have like one channel like that? Or is this just going to be like 70 channels? Each speaker has their own channel.
Well, this keeps changing, but the direction that we're at right now, I feel like we've been on a good path, and with 18 days to go, I think we're probably going to stay here. But what we're going to be doing is that all of the talks are pre-recorded, and those will all be posted one by one. Yeah, I watched yours already. It's very funny. Actually, both of yours, I guess. I mean, it's Manda, it's your talk, but I'm not sure who has more camera time.
Is it?
Truly not sure who has more camera time.
For the record, that was Amanda's idea.
That was my idea.
I'm sure she masterminded that. The great thing about pre-recording is that Manda knew what she was providing us, and if she didn't like it, she could just go somewhere without you.
So for those, a little slightly spoiler, Errol does make an appearance in my video, and he's disappointed that I, in his words, took out all the good parts.
Oh, so, I am. In real life, I am disappointed about all the good parts that were taken out. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that would, I thought it would be fine.
I want to see the blooper reel because if the good
Oh,
parts were taken out,
there will be a blooper reel. Trust me on that. Yeah.
yeah, there's
Anyway,
some bonus content.
yeah, I have to say it's interesting doing a pre-recorded talk because on the one hand it takes some of the pressure off, right, of the
Hmm.
live internet failing things that can often happen with these Zoom calls and but at the same time like I'm just so used to doing things live and it was kind of neat to try to pre-record it and I realized I could edit things so if I did something dumb I could be like, oh, just look at that, I never said it. Hooray.
Yeah, totally. I realized that pre-recording was a good thing when I don't have an opportunity to speak in front of large crowds anymore. Never super did for I'm sure the level that you have, but I took an online speech class my
Oh
senior year
yeah.
in college and was like, this is a no-brainer. Like I can perfect everything. And I'm definitely going to take this. But yeah, it comes with some interesting challenges where you can get really hung up that if you say something on stage, you're like, well, can't go back and change that. And then
Yeah.
you sit there in front of the video editing and you're just like, no, I can do it better. I'll re-record a fourth time.
Yeah, the challenge on stage like that could be dangerous too because I think I was going through and I was ready to punch myself in the face because I would restart something 20 times over and like I think at some point I just went, no, just keep going. Whereas on stage the challenge is masking that you've just said something stupid without making it look like you said something stupid and just pushing through it.
Yeah.
So it's like pros and cons to both, but yeah,
You
the
could just
pre-recording.
do my tactic, man pans. Just, just say stupid things all the time. And then it doesn't
then
matter.
And then people are pleasantly surprised when something intelligent comes out. Look at that.
That doesn't happen often, but it's all good. I had fun appearing in Man Pan's video though, so that was good. Again,
And
That's good.
I think that'll be apparent when people watch it. So
she gave
yeah.
me a script and then I didn't follow it at all.
I
I'm
didn't expect
shocked.
you to. Yeah. You'll see one of my improv fails in that too when I tried to stick to the script too much, but generally when Errol does something, I'm ready to just go with whatever he does. I think there was a line in the script that I put in just says, I don't know, Errol says something snarky and and he didn't even stick to that. He just kind of got up and walked away when he wanted. Yeah, anyway, that's going too much into my talk, but yeah,
Well, it's okay.
gonna be fun.
So
yeah.
we can bring this wholly full circle. So
Yeah.
if you want to, if there's a person listening to this and they want to listen to and watch your talk, where this whole conversation started is that we will have one website that you can go to and just watch talk after talk after talk. And if that's how you want to engage with Recon, great. You can sit there and listen to all the talks. In the Discord side of things, though, to not overwhelm everyone and have this massive channel of just a bunch of people talking about every single talk, each talk on the Discord side does have its own separate channel to try and keep conversation in an area where if I'm really interested in this topic, I can go learn a lot about it. And if I'm not interested in that topic, then I can not even see the channel at all.
Oh, cool. And then I guess if you're in that channel, you could just discuss, because I understand that the presenters will be there, and you can just discuss with them all sorts of things and ask your questions.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's kind of nice. And so will there also be like kind of lounging channels and coffee, water, hangout channels and...
Yeah, I think it's a bring your own coffee water piece, but we will supply the communication channel. There are tons of other channels about just general topics about, I can think there's one about LARPs, there's one about crosswords. We can create any channel. If you'd like to suggest some channels that we create, we can go ahead and do that right now. But there are plenty of other, yes, karaoke channel, got it. Going on the list right after this. But yeah, we have plenty of we have a whole channel for off topic that I assume that you should find yourself in most of the time.
Nice.
So I take it this might be one of your first conferences. Oh, well, as you said, that you haven't helped organize any online conference before, so this is probably a first. Have you had a chance to be on other online conference in anywhere else? Because I found it actually very fascinating when I saw it being done. I don't know if you've had a chance to see other ones.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have popped into just a handful of online conferences since, that's like basically figuring out what the rest of the market is doing in this area right now as everyone's trying to pivot. Most recently, I was just um, participating in listening to the Gen Con, which went
Oh,
fully
right,
virtual, which is
right.
daunting. I've never been in person.
No.
So I imagine completely daunting in person and even more daunting online. So a couple of the learnings that I took away from the very few talks that I listened to, because I didn't even play any games. I was petrified of that community of just being like, I would be the person who didn't know what she was doing in this game. But I was listening to some of the talks, and I think it's just really important to have really clear methods of how you go and do a thing, because I found myself super stuck for like 20 minutes to join my first talk. Turns out it was probably user error because I didn't read it said like location, Twitch, and then I was like, where? Twitch is giant. How do I find it? But I think it's really important to just make sure that your attendees have all the information that they need, like really clearly in front of them, to be able to not spend a bunch of time trying to figure out where a certain thing is or how they interact with it. Just give that really clearly. And I think we're trying to do that. I mean, we're definitely trying to do that at Recon, and I think we're succeeding, but we'll see.
Yeah, that makes total sense because sometimes it's hard to find where to go. I don't think it's user failure. Isn't it Don Norman who says that it's really the designer failure if your users can't figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to navigate the social sphere, especially when there's so many places to go. We told somebody to hey, go to Facebook and you'll find our group. It's like, oh, well, that's been, and Facebook changes its interface every 5 minutes. So it's like same thing with Zoom. Oh my goodness, they turn things on, they turn things off. I can't find anything with Zoom. Anyway, so well, that's great. I think that's an amazing learning because it's hard. It's hard to find things on the internet.
It's hard to find things on the internet. Yes, that is accurate.
And you find other things you don't want to find, or maybe you'll pleasantly find things, So there you go. That's just like going on Reddit or Wikipedia.
So going back to your specific job for exhibitors and sponsors, putting aside the online portion of this for a moment, how do you go about deciding who to approach for sponsorship and who to approach to be an exhibitor, or do you have an application open for exhibitors to apply?
Yeah, there is an open application. It's just a form. You don't need to tell us. There's no real application-y part of it. We're not judging the previous work experience or something like that. On the RECON website that you can find from a drop-down that just says exhibitors and sponsors. And the people that we reached out to initially were the individuals that might have companies where we think that the whole industry could benefit from, and possibly like instead of just possibly people that constantly show up to these escape room conventions like prop designers or software providers, we tried to approach companies that would also have like business assets that people might need, like small scale HR or legal consulting or like things that you might be trying to find on the internet but can't find someone that might want to work with a small escape room company.
Right.
So there was a very, very, very long list of brainstormed exhibitors and sponsors that the RECON team put together, and then I emailed all of them many times because getting through to some people's emails is almost impossible. But we ended up with a good group, and I think that we've had, even though I mentioned that the applications, the forums were closed at the end of July, we've had a number of them come in this week, which we are furiously working to incorporate. But I think next year, after the RECON virtual convention is a success, we'll have even more, hopefully, like podcasts like this that say, hey, you should be there.
Yeah.
So one of the bottlenecking aspect of being online makes it easier for an exhibitor or a sponsor to talk to potential people who are interested in what they are doing or selling. But here, I can imagine if you're on Discord, you might be, inundated with all sorts of questions, and people, especially if you're super popular, like Man Pants, when everybody comes to your panel, then you're just going to be like bombarded with questions. Are you going to
No,
go,
no.
are you going to do exhibitors have the ability to also have vocal or voice and video, or is it all going to be text? And do you have any maybe suggestions on how to handle the masses?
Yeah, so each exhibitor or sponsor is kind of handling it differently at this point. There are some exhibitors who just want their webpage up and they're not going to be super active in the Discord, and that's like far and away the rarity. And then there are other people who are like, we've got this many demos scheduled and I need this voice
Ooh.
chat and I want people to play my game or whatever it is, and we're setting up specific voice and video channels for that. We're definitely giving every exhibitor a text chat by default, and then voice and video is just an as needed basis so that we don't continue to expand the number of channels in Discord and confuse everyone.
Yes, although I think sometimes you can hide our channels so that people won't get too confused. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. So they're gonna have like online like game demos and maybe live plays. That'd be fun.
That's right.
You can do a Twitch stream, Man Pants. You can do a live play.
Oh, yes. We should do celebrity run throughs of them and then post them on. Well, Room Escape Artists would need to get, Recon would need to get a Twitch, I think. But we have a YouTube channel, so could post them there.
Oh, you could just use like Streamlabs, to do that. Yeah. Neat.
And then I wonder if they'll have like virtual display boards or something where you can see stuff. But I think it's kind of neat that you can like play and see. Are there going to be a lot of people bringing online games to demo? How are they going to do that? Will they just, I guess, show a video or?
We're not super sure. A lot of that is being left up to each exhibitor and what they want to bring. The one thing that we will have is we are working on a list of like free play games that people could form their own teams and play during Recon. Like if you've ever been to, I'm sure, a Gen Con or a PAX, there are like open game tables where you can grab something and sit down with your friends and play. So we're looking to create that sort of environment as best we can online as well.
It's actually interesting because with this, usually a lot of the other conferences, escape room conferences, are geared more towards owners. Are there going to be a lot of exhibitors that would cater to the enthusiast crowd as well, so that both enthusiasts and owners would be interested in?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the split is, but off the top of my head, I'll go ahead and say that I think 50% of our current exhibitors would appeal to players or enthusiasts as well. And on the exhibitor side, it's if they have some sort of play at home or tabletop escape room game that they want to play, they could be appealing to owners to say, sell this in your lobby, and then appealing to players as like, just pick this up from your local game shop, Amazon, whatever. So it's a benefit to both the exhibitors to have owners and players there. And then certainly the exhibit hall is not just for owners, it'll have interesting content for players as well.
And I know it works because on our Friday meetups, I know Hive Mind Escapes are on our Friday meetups as well, and everybody was talking about all these games, and immediately they just bought 3 of them during the meetup. It was a very expensive meetup for them. But it was exciting as people were like, hyping up games.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that will happen at Recon. There's plenty of knowledgeable people who have opinions on the games that are out there, and I'm sure that will fill the channels. Opinions, man, all over the internet.
It's on this podcast too. All sorts of opinions. Were you gonna ask something, Man Pants?
No, I was gonna comment on the fact that I don't know, maybe it's the quarantine or something, but I've been very like susceptible to like
Buying everything on Amazon.
Just buying things. Like I think Errol said like, hey, look at this game, you should buy it, and I just went, okay, like not even barely reading any reviews, just like purely on recommendation from a couple of people. I was like, okay, sure, take my money. Yeah. And I'm like, I think I've been spending a lot more money this summer.
I have.
Should.
I know
Yeah.
I have. I wonder if somebody has stats on that. The level of online buying must have like skyrocketed because
My God, yeah.
I
for
don't
sure.
normally online buy. In fact, I think I bought before COVID, I think about like 3 things on Amazon. Now, don't even ask me. It's not. It's embarrassing. I got it. I just got it purchased today. It was great.
The delivery guy just keeps showing up with
He
packages
does. He
every
does.
day.
She or he does, and it's amazing. It's like, oh, I used to not. I didn't like knocks at the door because it was somebody wanting to bother me. It's probably like Roger saying, "Do you want to upgrade your?" No, I don't. Just come on. You want to buy more phone services? No. Anyway, we won't.
Now it's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
Just stuff.
For me. And then because like Errol forgets everything, so it's like a big pleasant surprise each time. It's like, oh look, I have a box of something. Who knows what it is? And then it's
But
always
there's a
happy.
box of mouse pads that I bought. Is it here yet? No, it's been 3 months. I don't know where those mouse pads are. I think they just lost them. Actually, that was good. It's just like, $6 mouse pads. The only thing that's been lost on Amazon. So
Yeah, it feels like of all of the things that could have been lost in the mail, the mouse
the best one.
pads.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Can you imagine if you were waiting for a game or something? It's like, okay, why do you need a whole box of mouse pads?
No, so it was 2. It was
Oh,
just 2.
okay.
Mouse
Well,
pads.
that's also, I guess, a whole box because everything that shows up at your door is in a box.
True.
So
It is. It is.
yeah, okay. 2 mouse pads seems appropriate.
So what advice could you give people who are going to be presenting online, even from either a tech perspective or a prep perspective?
I think that the best advice that I can give someone who's going to be presenting online is to make sure that they have practiced. And I mean practiced in the way that I'm sure that every exhibitor knows exactly how to pitch their product in real life. And I'm sure that a bunch of people are even skilled at doing it online at this point. But the people that haven't done it, it's different. It's just like speaking recorded, like we were talking about earlier. I'm sure that there's things that you want to do in real life that you can't do virtually, or you need to figure out another way to do virtually. So definitely doing some sort of test run, making sure you're in a quiet area. There's nothing that makes me want to leave a video chat faster than a bunch of background noise. So I think
Like
that it's really
birds. We have
birds,
in
screaming children, car noises, whether that be honking or just road noise. Yeah, that's not probably the best way to present to potentially 600 people at RECON. So just making sure that all of those things are squared away. And then that leaves the room for you to really present what you want as people aren't distracted. Because it's so hard to keep people's attention virtually. But making sure that you're at least not having any of these negative externalities around you detracting from your pitch would be best.
Because we also have the internet. That's just a window away. YouTube could be up. Or maybe Vicky, somebody could just be watching K-dramas while you're talking, and they're not paying attention to anything you're saying. I'm paying
totally
attention
possible.
now. Manpans was looking at her tea while I was talking, so...
I'm thirsty. I need to actually go grab some water because I'm like on the verge of coughing constantly right now. And I'm like,
Go grab some water.
I'll be right back.
Go grab
You
some
keep
water.
talking.
We're going to talk about all the exciting things now while you're gone. It's interesting because how many speakers do you have?
How many speakers? Oh, this is a hard question. I'm one step away from speakers, and I'm going to get the number wrong. 14? Actually, that's even worse. Don't even take that because I think we have 14 different schedule slots. And some of those slots will be panels, which will have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5 to 7 speakers, 5 to 7 groups. I think the biggest group of people that we have speaking at RECON might be 10 different people because it's like pairs of people. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. There's no really good succinct answer I can provide. There's a different RECON core team volunteer named Cindy who has all of that wrangled. And if you asked her that question, she would be able to immediately provide an answer. I can only tell you the exhibitors and sponsors. But a lot.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I can imagine there's going to be a lot. And I think it'd be the cool thing I find is that I've been able to attend a lot more conferences now, not so much because of the locality, But even if I'm at work and I'm doing something that doesn't need to
Oh
engage
yeah.
my brain, I mean, not that I don't. Okay, I don't engage my brain, but if I'm just
Well,
doing
if you're
design
doing
work,
data entry or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
it's
right.
It's
I
like
yeah.
can have
listening
it.
to music, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can have it on in the background, and it's like, oh, that's interesting, and I can ask my question, right? Especially if it's a music conference, then that's the easiest thing on the planet. I have that in the background all the time. But this is a nice thing too, because this is still running on Sunday and Monday, is it?
Yep.
Or when is it? Yeah, Sunday and
Sunday,
Monday,
Monday.
and I work on like Mondays, but I can have it run in the background. I guess the hard part is trying to figure out which channel I'm going to check out for all the speakers. Oh, do you plan on having all the speakers like competing for? Because there's 14, but only 2 days, so we have to choose whom we wish to listen to.
I
Are
mean,
you,
none of the speakers right now are pitted against each other. There's no sort
Oh,
of
good.
thing of like, if we're not banning your entry. I mean, maybe we will if you attend Sunday, and then you can definitely attend Monday. But the way that the talks are going to be released is that we have a schedule, and at certain times the talks will be up. Um, and currently, there's no decision to be made about, am I going to attend talk A or talk B? They overlap. They're at the same time. You could go to every single talk if you wanted to spend the full
Oh,
time at RECon.
oh, that's amazing.
that's good. Errol's imagining some Hunger Games of speaker talks or
Yeah, like a
something.
bracket with like, well, it's just going to be a lot of man pants talking because she's won the last 7 heats, and so she's going to give the finale. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You go
No.
to a lot of conferences, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's just sad though, because it's like, oh, I want to see that one, but then there's this one. Oh no,
You
right?
won't have to make that choice.
I know that's the best, because I just want somebody to tell me to do things. I don't want to make any choices. Just like my youngest daughter.
Like,
What do you want to eat? I don't know. Ugh. Rotten kids.
well, I guess at physical conferences, right, you need to justify having the space. So, like, putting different speakers in different rooms at the same time makes sense because you're paying for a venue as well, right? And it's it's necessary. Whereas online, you have a little bit more leeway. I think there's a couple of online conferences where I attended where it's like, you got to pick this one or that one. And I, you know, hemmed and like I despaired over it, but for the most part, I've been able to see everything. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, when we were planning RECon to happen in Boston, we had a schedule structure that
Yeah.
would be like you expect. There were 2 different rooms. It was talks happening concurrently, and we were having 2 different tracks so that if you wanted to engage with it as one type of person, it was like, okay, go to all these talks. If you were engaging on another side, it was like, okay, go to these talks. And then there were talks in common, and we were giving people the ability to attend whatever they wanted, but that was like the recommended track. And then when we moved virtual, we were like, all right, now we have very lightweight infrastructure, and we can just list one right after the other. Let's do it.
Yeah, totally.
So while you've been planning all of this, is there anything, even while you've been prepping, that you've learned on the way with this trial by fire? I know it hasn't even started yet, but
Truly so many different things. I think that we've learned a couple of different things, and I'll speak for the whole RECon team. And one is that pivoting virtual is a challenge, especially because no one's really perfected this, because we're in, I don't know, month 5, 6 at this point of living in this weird, we can't travel anywhere sort of world. And everything that you think would be easy to do usually takes way more time than you think it's going to. And then the other thing is, and this is like an internal joke on the RECon team, is like marketing works. Like when we talk about this, like, wow, people sign up and it's just like, whoa, okay, great. So like we told someone about it, and then they told people, and then like we see the pre-registers come in and we're like, wow, marketing works. But that's just the joke on the RECon team, that it's like, we should still continue to spend effort because, and then someone will say like, marketing works. So I think that's really interesting. We're going to learn so much over the next 18 days and the 2 days of the convention. And then the day following is virtual escape jam. So we're going to learn a ton then.
So excited for that.
It's going to be so great. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we have partnered with Jeb Havens, who runs In Real Life. game jams, like escape room jams. I went to one once and it was incredible. It was an exhausting, like 12-hour day of building a 20-minute escape room out of, I don't know, cardboard and stuffed animals maybe. But it was really, really fun. We're going to try and recreate it online. There's still tickets available if you wanted to do that, but it's super limited.
Oh, I should do that now while we're talking.
You should 100% do it right now, because we sold another 2 tickets today. And this already sold out once. We initially only had half the amount of tickets that we were going to have. And so we brought in another person to help out with it. So now Tommy Haunton from Stash House out in LA is going to be Jeb's right-hand man, so that we were able to open up more tickets. And that's going to be super great, but we're going to learn a ton. And I'm sure that being the very first RECON and the very first virtual RECON, there are going to be things that either don't go great and people notice, or there are things that don't go great and the RECON team notices, but we are just going to continue to roll with the punches. We've been trying to take all of the disaster planning notes that we need of like, okay, if this system fails, what do we do? Okay, if that system fails, what do we do? And we're kind of testing that right now because of the power outages. There are people that don't have power that would be critical for running this convention. So we're happy that it's happening now. We have a plan. This was in the disaster recovery plan. We have a plan. We're executing it, but there's certainly going to be curveballs and things thrown our way. And we're hoping that just the community that has joined us for, or will join us for RECON, will keep it going and not be set back when we have technical difficulties. And hopefully, pre-recording all these talks, we'll take out one tiny little bit of, like, I don't know, internet stability as a risk.
I've just bought my ticket. Yeah.
Hooray. It's going to be a blast. We have a super great group that's going to go through it. I'm really jealous that I can't do it. Maybe if there's a ticket available, I'll do it. Maybe I'll see how much work I have to do for it. I probably can't do it.
I'm lucky because I already had booked out vacation that week for the Boston version.
Yeah.
When I was going to go physically, and I just kept the vacation booked. So I'm like, yay!
Yeah, use your travel day. You were going to go traveling anyway.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. What else do you have to use your vacation days on in 2020 when you can't go anywhere? Might as well take the day off,
Seriously.
do a virtual escape jam, hang out in Zoom all day, or Discord in this case.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
The whole thing is going to be great. And the jam is going to be really fun.
So who are, out of curiosity, who are some of the sponsors for RECON?
We have 3 sponsors. I'm waiting for a 4th to come in. It's Buzzshot, the Enigma Emporium, and Schiffer Publishing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you can always find their information directly on the main RECON homepage. You can scroll and find their logos and find out more about them. But Buzzshot and Enigma Emporium have been with us since this was supposed to be in Boston and then was pivoted to digital. So they've been with us this whole time. And then, like I said, we should have maybe one more sponsor coming in today. It's kind of everything is a little bit more flexible because we can do it online. So I'm a little reluctant to be like, well, actually deadline closed. So unfortunately we can't do it. So we're just treating it case by case. And eventually I will have too much work to create too many assets. And then I'll be like, I really can't. At one point it's closed, but we'll see.
We don't have to.
Sorry,
go ahead,
is
Errol.
Enigma Emporium out of Boston? I didn't know that. Or not.
I can find out where they're based. I have too many different ideas in my head. Let's find out.
Because I was going to book it to come.
Yeah,
to
I was really
there's
excited.
so many people that I could see. Because the longer you hang out in the industry, the more people you get to know.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of people in Boston. Like
there's
James
also
Cobo.
like new escape rooms coming out, but yeah, maybe someday. Not anytime soon because we're keeping our border shut and closed and locked up. But
nobody's allowed to come to Canada.
No.
So.
My brother works at the border, and I guess they get American tourists every day who try to come through. But
there was this crazy article recently about the fact that they had restricted Americans from trying to go to Canada by boat. I was like, really, guys? Like, you do understand that, like, there is a system in place to keep you in your country, right? Like, I will just take a ship across. That's not going
They've
to
never
work.
thought of a boat. Yes.
It's truly the weirdest.
No one owns the water. Yeah. Anyway, we don't have to put this in, but just on the topic of sponsorships, like I do. I do bookkeeping for charities and stuff, and a lot of their programming for a few of my clients, of course, had to get canceled, like, you know, walking tours and stuff, and the uncomfortable conversations that have to happen when they've already received money from sponsorship, and you have to go back and say, like, so can we keep your money, or do you want it back?
Yeah, we had that conversation. So the way that the Reality Escape convention handled that, when we were like, okay, great, we're not going to be in person, but you've already given us this money, we actually offered everyone a refund.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we took a little bit of risk, because I mean, we signed a contract to be in person, and we didn't exactly know what our venue was going to do, but realized that it really didn't make a bunch of sense to be like, well, you've given us money and we're keeping it. Oh, and the industry might be in shambles because no one can go out of their homes, but like, nah, tough luck. So that was definitely not what we pursued. And then we had a couple of people who stuck with us this whole time, and then anyone who just basically wanted to roll their exhibiting or sponsorship or attendee ticket forward to next year, when we hopefully can actually host in Boston, they'll get this year for free. So that was the deal that we struck with people, and it was received super great. Like, so many people reached out and were like, really appreciate, like, sorry, I need to ask for a refund because I don't know what I'm doing right now, but really appreciate this. Like, the flexibility is incredible. Like, thanks so much, you're doing the right thing, which made us feel really good. And not everyone did. So a bunch of people just rolled it forward to next year, and we have a hopeful outlook that we'll actually be able to be in Boston.
Fingers crossed. But what I was going to say was, like, you know, as much as we hope to be in Boston next year, still really looking forward to the online conference this year, and really impressed, you know, with, like, just how fast you had to pivot that decision, because, you know, it wasn't like it was a conference happening in the winter or anything. It was like soon, August.
Yeah, let me tell you, that wasn't scary at all. That like having to be like, wow, we really needed to start doing this in January, but we're making the decision in April. That wasn't scary. No, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that it's all working out, and we're really looking forward to it. So thank you very much for joining us here today to talk and tell us all about your experiences organizing an online conference. Oh my goodness. Can't wait for it to happen. So if people would like to find out more about RECON, where can they go?
You can go to realityescapecon.com, and then all the information is there.
Yeah.
And you can find her bio on the team page if you want to know everything about Teresa.
Yes, which I wrote a long time ago and don't remember exactly what's in it. So that's fun.
Project management is your jam.
That is true. That was the only line I actually remembered putting into my bio, because it is my jam. I love project management. Deadlines are my jam.
Which is amazing, because we asked people, because we're looking for someone that could run our lives, and they all immediately said, Teresa. She's going to do it, and she'll be amazing. And so that's why I've requested Teresa to run my life, and hopefully she will say yes. I'm not even joking.
I have said yes already to this. I'm not sure what contract I need to sign.
Well, you don't need to sign a contract, but
yeah,
you might
so I already said
your
yes.
mind, because it's like, oh wait, I've met Errol now. I don't think I want to do that. So.
Oh no, your reputation, just like mine, precedes you. So I already knew exactly what I was getting into when I agreed to this, and no one has any context for what we're talking about at this point, because it's not related to RECON. But the more important thing is that I will have something to do with my life after RECON ends, because I think I'm physically incapable of only working my normal day-to-day job and then relaxing in the evenings. I think at this point, I have so much RECON work that happens like after my normal workday ends. Like now, I'm going to go into a test live stream that we're going to go into tonight after this, but I need something to fill my time once Recon wraps. And then we just, of course, start planning for next year, but we have like a little bit of downtime.
Oh, I hope that
There you
there'll be
go.
some sort of online aspect next year as well. I wonder if conferences are going to try to keep that, like conventions and things, because that does allow for a lot of people to be part. But I can imagine if it's in life, then you'd have to set up cameras and internets, and internet's
Yeah.
horrible in hotels.
Oh my
Really.
god, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible and it's really expensive.
Yes.
How are
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
doing that? If I was paying for any other service and I was like, yeah, it's that expensive and it's terrible, I would just try not to pay for it. But they get you at those hotels.
Anyway, sorry, Man Pants, you were gonna talk us out.
All right. Well, Room Escape
Thank you,
Divas.
Teresa.
Thank you very much again,
Sorry, I
Teresa.
interrupted you, man.
Thanks for having
Okay.
me. We'll just all interrupt
Par
each
for
other.
the
This is
course,
the ending.
Yeah. Room Escape Divas is
Thank
brought
you,
to you.
Teresa.
Oh, I almost swore there. Oh my goodness. Are you good? Are we good? Are you do you have it all out of your system yet?
Oh, I'm still enjoying it.
Okay, good. Room Escape Divas is brought to you by InverseGenius.com. You can go to InverseGenius.com to find other fun podcasts just like this one. You can also email us at roomescapedivas@gmail.com. We love getting emails. If you are on Twitter, you can use the hashtag REDivas. And if you are on Facebook, you can go like our page. Just click the like button. And every Friday for the remainder of this month, Errol has to, by the way, set this event up in Facebook. We are going to be
it's
having
not set up. Oh.
yeah,
It's set
ended
up in
as of
Zoom.
July.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I should make the Facebook page. We are going to be having community meetups. We have it every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a good time. We talk for an
We
hour.
don't even know when it's going to stop. I have no idea when it's going to stop.
I don't know either.
We just
If
keep
it,
doing it.
if it's still good, it's just kind of a I don't
I don't know
know.
if it's good now, but people
if-
keep showing up.
People
so...
keep showing up, so I'm impressed. And yeah. But yeah, come join us, have a chat. That's where Errol usually spoils everything somehow. He spoiled many things. He spoiled
I
yeah.
don't spoil movies. I don't spoil movies.
No, but you spoil our life events, which is possibly worse. I don't know. You spoiled Mike and Ruby's announcement, I think.
I didn't spoil it. I think people knew that the baby was coming. Right? It was on Facebook first. So that's as long as it was on Facebook first, that meant
Okay.
it was public knowledge.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
think you did spoil that I was speaking at Recon.
Yeah,
don't have to say
I
that.
might have
Yeah.
spoiled that.
Yeah.
I thought people knew. I forgot.
It hadn't been announced
Just
yet.
Like,
It's
because
like
you knew about speaking at Recon for like months ahead of time, right? So
I know,
was
and I
so
was so
confused.
excited to be the first one to share. Oh no, Errol got there.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It meant I got to torture you about it. So, yay. Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.